Welcome to another Agency Founder podcast with John Uland. John, I think you've been a client of mine, John, right?
Yeah, man, I was a client of yours. Oh,
Man, it's been a while, 2 years ago.
yeah.
And you've been acquired, which is fantastic. So John was founder and principal at Uland Agency. It's not his first company, co-founder at Stitch,
Yep.
VIP, founder at MapV, and now transitioning. He's been acquired by Modular Marketing. So we're going to talk about that. Podpire is presenting this podcast. If you want to start your podcast, we help you do so and generate leads through podcasting, generate sponsorship money, and also get paid by YouTube AdSense on a monthly basis. You can go to podpire.com. We have a free ebook teaching you how to start your AI podcast this year. John, nice to have you on and talk to you again. What have you been up to in the last couple of years?
Oh man. Thanks. I'm happy to be here. Number one. Number two is what I've been up to is as you just mentioned. Yeah, the agency I founded got acquired by a different agency, Modular, and now I'm a partner and I run operations at that agency. So I've been basically guiding us through our lifecycle marketing. But one of the things I've been really passionate about lately is the practical use of AI applications in the lifecycle marketing space, and also generally with like entrepreneurs as well.
And for people that don't know, you've been email marketing manager at Peloton, head of CRM at Teachable.
Yeah.
So like pretty extensive experience. Let's start with Uland. So
Sure.
Congrats on being acquired. So what happened there exactly? And do you think that most agencies can scale to a point of being acquired like yours?
Here's the thing. Starting an agency, super easy. Anyone can start an agency. Scaling an agency, and getting acquired, no, that's really, really hard. So I don't think most people can do that. I think they find that as you start, agency life is inherently, it becomes a people problem, right? Like at the end of the day, it's how many hours you're spending for a certain price, and you can adjust your pricing, so much, but you still need people. Most of the time, you still need people to do that work. And so there's always, in the startup world, there's this adage: is more people, more problems, and that typically rings true. The more people you hire, and especially if you're not planning on scaling, if you've not seen that done before, I think agency owners can really run into some hiccups and what amounts to HR nightmares, and not like just like hiring the wrong person or hiring the right person for the wrong job. And just that whole business administration can get really difficult when you're used to most agency owners were individual contributors first. And so when you're used to being an individual contributor, it can be really hard to code switch into business owner, working on the business versus in the business.
Right, 100%. And you probably even remember my team 2 to 3 years ago when I had 200-ish employees a couple of years ago. I downscaled probably a year after we worked together into pure AIs running the show, pure AI agents, right?
Yeah.
More than 60% of a payroll of an agency goes into humans, paying humans. And yeah, it becomes really like hiring an A players game, but that's incredibly hard. And these A players, not only are they hard to find, they're hard to keep, right? You constantly need to be experimenting and become really good at HR, which I was never good at. You probably have been better than I at this. Did your Uland team move to modular marketing? Was it like an acqui-hire type of acquisition?
Yeah, actually, a lot of the team moved over. We've since gone through some restructuring and stuff on our end to make things a little bit more, efficient. And also, some people have gone on to other opportunities. But yeah, all of my team came over to Modular. We combined, and then it's been a couple of years now. So yeah.
And what kind of agency is modular marketing? Is like Colby more financially oriented, acquiring a bunch of these agencies doing some financial engineering, piecing them up together. What is the vision behind Modular?
The vision behind Modular is to become a best-in-class lifecycle marketing agency, specifically in lifecycle marketing. We don't do acquisition or anything that's like top of funnel. We do basically after someone has given you their information, it's all about lifecycle and retention. And so we really try to deliver a premium service to our clients when it comes to personalization, automation, and multi-channel approaches.
Right. And your head of operations there, has that always been your forte? And then
Yeah.
there's Megan as well. Like, how do you separate the roles, and what does a day-to-day at the agency looks like?
Yeah, so the CEO is Colby, and I. So if you think about it like this, there's this book called Rocket Fuel. I love
Yep.
it. Great,
Yep.
great book. I'm sure a lot of your audience has read it. But Colby's definitely the visionary, and I'm an integrator. So what and we have he's one of the greatest business partners I've ever had. But Colby sets the course, and then asks me to implement it, and that's what I'm really good at. I think in my little title down here, that really identify as an integrator. And I think a lot of people shun that because visionary can be really like a sexy role, so to speak. But what I bring to the table is getting stuff done, and that's not to say at all like Modular was doing very well before I came along, but that is what I bring to the table is really taking that vision and making it a reality.
Right. And a good operator, from the tries that I've done, right, hiring various COOs, they're very down to earth people. They take the vision of the visionary. Like me, my role, I guess, is being creative, absorbing tons of data.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't call it like gut feeling, but it's like that intuition that this is right. I use ChatGPT a lot nowadays to narrow down that intuition, and so that it makes sense. A well-prompted GPT, of course.
Yeah.
What does a great operator look like? And is that still relevant and aligned with the AI age, in which we're going to have AI agents execute everything for us?
Yeah. Oh man. So look, and a great operator is a Swiss Army tool, so to speak, right? They can they can identify where problems are, and then focus where in different departments or different areas of the company, and kind of pull out a different tool that fits that particular challenge or that particular department. And I think that there's a misconception about operators, is that operators themselves can be visionary, right? Like you have this roadmap, but how that roadmap gets actualized. I speak both Spanish and English, and so I sometimes have like cognates going through my head. But
Yeah.
how that
Same here, by the way.
Oh,
My
perfect.
wife is.
Yeah.
Lo hacemos en español si quieres.
Whatever works best for your audience, but actualizado, like to be fully realized, this roadmap. You have to envision how that's going to happen, and how it's going to happen. In my case, how it's going to happen in the most efficient way possible.
Right.
And like there's multiple ways to feed a cat, so to speak, but what's the right way? And so going to the discussion about AI, it's what are the actual practical use cases of AI? Like you can, which AI models do you use? How do you use it to your benefit in different areas of the company? Whether that's like generating proposals, right? That's a great one. Or there's like tools out there that purport that they can do like AI phone calls and stuff like that. I think that my hot take is right now that's currently bullshit. And so there's a lot of AI grift. And so being able to like sift through the grift of applications and say, this is the right answer for, our biz dev team, or this is the right answer for our engineering and development team. That is a great operator.
Yeah, and it's still like a tool for humans at this stage. I think AI agents are going to take over. Not sure if you've tried ChatGPT Operator. It's pretty game changing. It's groundbreaking, especially for agencies.
Yeah.
AI voice, yeah, mostly bullshit. Like the leader in that space is, let's see here, Synthflow. I'm not sure if you've tried them.
Yeah.
for customer service, but also interestingly enough for cold calls, which tend to not work nowadays, right? Like one of my first agency was a cold call center for realtors, and that went to the ground. That was like 8 years ago. Yes, the model, but also, yeah, how does it prioritize the to-dos that needs to be done? And then, yeah, agents, I think they have like a legal boundary and legal constraints in what they can do and what they cannot do. There's an ethical part to it, like agents cannot go do anything. They need to tell the truth as well.
Right.
Right. And yeah, there is always a risk that these agents can mess up as execution. But I think that is definitely there. Like the AI agent stuff, we've also seen like OpenAI's deep research that is pretty game changing on that level, right? Have you tried either?
Yeah, I've not tried deep research yet. I tried DeepSeek with the other one, the Chinese one, and we use a mix of Claude and OpenAI or ChatGPT for different things. Like we'll use if I'm putting together like a proposal overview, I have a custom chat GPT that I've built, for that. But if if I'm doing like like I'm building an app, we built apps completely with AI.
With Replit or Bolt?
Using let's see, Cursor.
Cursor, yes.
Yeah, Cursor.
I did a pod about Cursor today. It's pretty good.
Amazing. Yeah, it's amazing. We're rolling out, Modular is rolling out with our first software product called Flowproof. It's flowproof.ai. And that is it's a Slack tool that has been built completely with AI, and it harnesses the power of AI to do like a pulse check and what do we call it? Last mile email proofing for email marketing teams.
Yeah, I did a pod about Cursor, Replit, and Bolt today with a business partner of mine, and his thesis is that Cursor still wins. He's technical, right? He runs a developer agency. Have you brought a fully built app to Replit? Because he was saying that like 95%. Well, Replit takes you 95% to the app, but then it stops. And then since it's LLM based, it doesn't scale, right? It sort of forgets about the app, while Cursor seems to pretty much scale and build you a fully built app.
Yes, I personally have built 2 apps fully with Cursor.
Nice.
And then a couple.
And are you like technical, or are you like a still local type of guy?
Yeah, no, I used to. So my first job out of college was I was a developer at Qualtrics.
Okay, nice.
And then from there I moved into marketing ops and demand generation and stuff like that. So I've always been close to the code, and I'm a weird tinkerer. Like I like to build.
I like to
build things.
Yep.
And so
what have you built? What are these 2 apps like, and what apps are you bullish about nowadays?
Well, I would say they're tools, right? So like I'm a big subscriber to Mythical Man Month, like that book. It's a software engineering book that if a software engineer like heard me speak about it, they'd be like, you're an idiot. And that's okay. I understand that I'm a relative idiot, but I can do a lot of damage with code. And when it comes to things I build mostly tools, which basically means they have like 1 or 2 features. And the reason I do that is because the more features you add, the more complex a program gets. A tool, a program, and then that ends up becoming a platform. And I don't have time to maintain a platform, but I can maintain a tool if needed. Single like a very narrow specific use case. And so things that I've done, I've built apps that integrate commonly used data entry tools like Google Sheets and Airtable. It integrates with big enterprise marketing automation platforms, because there's usually a learning curve that comes along with those marketing automation platforms, and they require significant engineering lift. Marketers don't, as a whole. I'm unique as a marketer in that I know code. Most marketers can't do that. Maybe they can do some HTML here and there, but like JavaScript and actual like dynamic code things, very difficult. And so the apps that I've built have been specifically to alleviate that issue or that pain point of a low code or no code marketer trying to do a technical thing in these sort of major marketing automation platforms like Iterable, Braze, Customer.io, stuff like that. That's what I've built personally.
Are we close to a self-upgrading app? It would just take customer feedback added to the roadmap and auto execute on it?
Not at my level. Here, I once heard a CEO of a major marketing automation platform, like multi-million dollar, billion-dollar platform, say this. He said, AI is the smartest employee in the room. And I disagree. I
For
disagree.
now, for now.
For now, exactly. Give it 5 years, right? Like AI right now is where social media was back in 2008. Like everyone's kind of figuring out what the hell do we do with this? But 10 years later for social media, I think it's much less for AI, where like it's going to be a whole job to be managing AI agents, multiple. And
Yes.
so right now, AI is the needy intern, but that doesn't mean you should ignore it. Like that. I think as people who are professionals in the AI space, we have this unique opportunity to learn and grow with AI and really figure out how to focus it. And as you mentioned, and you're clearly already doing this, like making your business run by AI agents. And that's something that we're doing at or beginning to do at Modular in the lifecycle space and doing for our clients as well.
Yeah, and the ancestors of AI agent was Zapier, just that Zapier would break all the time
Yeah,
because they
dude.
don't have access to all apps. For example, I am a Opus.Pro power user, right? Opus is still not on Zapier. It should be. It's like, oh, create this podcast now that you have this StreamYard link, well connected to Opus so that it auto does the shorts and then the shorts are published automatically.
Yep.
You mentioned something important and interesting to me, which is AI manager as a job. Wouldn't be the future CEO job of any company, like 1 to 5 employees at the top, and the rest are AI agents in 5
I
to 10
think
years from now?
I think it depends on the level of CEO, right? Like a CEO can be, there are leaders of small businesses. They may be generating lots of revenue or whatever, but like at that level, maybe. But at the same time, like there is some time-consuming technical aspects of AI, that I think that if you're a person who doesn't have ADHD, like I do, I can focus on a lot of things all at once. I think there are a lot of people who like that singular focus of being a CEO and setting up agents and training them, which takes time and effort, is not something a lot of CEOs will want to do. And so I think that's something that they'll hire out. Finding the right person will be a challenge for those CEOs. And then, but yeah, like you said, there will be a certain level of CEOs that would do it all themselves. Great, good for them. There will be others who hire out, 1 or 2 people, like an operator, to do that. And then, for these larger tech companies and stuff like that, they are gonna have an AI team, because generative AI is one aspect of it, right? Having an AI agent generate things, but then there's predictive AI data models and things like that really are gonna a tech company CEO is going to be thinking a lot more about, and they're going to hire out engineers and teams to do that. So I think it's a career path for sure.
Next question is pretty random and wild. Can you teach ADHD to a non-ADHD brain, and can you teach deep work to an ADHD brain?
What's the second one?
Can you teach deep work to an ADHD brain?
Like hyper focus?
Yes.
Oh yeah. Well, I think that's a superpower of ADHD. ADHD presents differently in different people depending on their gender and their experience. And I would say that my ADHD is very well managed.
Same here.
Yeah, right, yeah. And so, I'm no psychologist, I'm no doctor, but the way ADHD presents in me is when it's unregulated, the inability to focus, the inability to manage myself and my time and effectively. But when it is when it's regulated, which for me, regulation, like I don't do medicine for it. Regulation for me comes through exercise, routine, and routine things like habits. but mostly moving my body. Um,
Meditation?
oh no, I meditate all the time, yoga. Yeah. So those sorts of things. Um, but when I think regulated ADHD provides this superpower to hyper focus to dive super deep into something like training an AI agent or building an app or whatever in a day, and and then being able to kind of code switch and jump back out. Um, that's so I would say if you have ADHD and you're having trouble focusing, finding, I mean, there's medication out there, but also there's routines and habits, finding the things that work for you. And it's what works for me might not work for everyone, but finding those things, and building that routine, that tool set of habits and meditation and stuff like that to regulate your mental and emotional space, and that unlocks a whole world of possibility in terms of your efficacy and productivity and things that you want to do.
Yep. Yeah, I have the addictive spectrum in me as well. So you got to be careful to what not to focus your energy and
Yeah,
attention on as well. But
yeah,
yeah, ways to hack it. You mentioned it, physical activity, meditation. Then it becomes really this powerful laser once you can focus it on one thing. It's so crazy how deep you can get in the rabbit hole, right? The serotonin rabbit hole, and fetch the productivity carrot. In our case, most of the time it's revenue, right? And the systems that we create. I want to come back to your exit though. Like,
sure.
how does one transit to being a full-time founder, one to being acquired? Tell us about the acquisition process specifically, and how did you sort of modulate your brain to not be an employee, right, but working inside a company again?
Great. So how did I code switch essentially from, I think the code, yeah. So when I maybe let me start from when I decided to start my own business, right? I was working for a major music label. COVID hit, and I get a call from my old CEO at Teachable, literally the day COVID shut down New York. He says, "This is weird timing, man, but Teachable just sold, and you're going to get a big payout." And I ended up getting that payout, like I said, I was working for a major music label at the time. While the music industry just crashed, I still had a job, but I had nothing really to do. And I got to see the whole process of my CEO, who I was relatively close with. He became a 100 millionaire overnight because he owned, 48% of this company. And I got like a six-figure payout, low six figures, like 120K, and for like 0.05% of this company that I spent 3 years working my ass off for. And I said, I will never do that again. Yeah, I will always have double digit ownership. And so at least, and so any new opportunity that I took from then on was with that mindset. And also that's when I started changing the mindset of like, okay, I work on the business, not in it. That was a process, not an event. Especially starting my own agency, started as a freelancer, then I started hiring people. When I joined Modular, I had an understanding, an agreement with the team. I was like, look, I'm going to come on and work on operations. And look, I do stay close to clients. I'm really good at that. And I come in and work on like solution engineering and strategy occasionally. But it's also really good for someone who's a leader at the company to stay close to the customers and see what are they, what are their challenges, what are they facing. It helps us set the direction. So I would say, going, I think it has been definitely like a mental challenge occasionally to like, my business partner is my partner. He is, and he's a friend too. Like, uh, and not necessarily my boss, right? And so, like referring to him as my partner in conversations and stuff like that, that's more of a mental challenge than anything. But the day to day, we rely on each other for advice and strategy, and we have frequent meetings about those things. It's very egalitarian in so many ways, and I do credit that a lot in large part to having the right business partner. So the change, the mental change hasn't been that difficult on me, but also I have a great business partner, and that makes a huge difference.
And what's next for you? How long will you stay until you launch your next ship?
I want to see modular. I want to see modular scale more than it has. We just passed $1 million in revenue, and getting to $1 million is a big deal. That's a big yay, right? But I want to see us get to 3 million, and then I want to see us go to 10 million. And that's like the challenges that you face at $1 million and the day-to-day operations at 1 million in revenue is not the same at 3 million, which is not the same at 10 million. And so for me, it's a puzzle that needs to be figured out. And I want to see, like, I think revenue is indicative of the service level that you're providing, at least in my line of work. And so there's sort of this satisfaction that comes along with it. Okay, we've hit this target. That means that we're attracting and retaining clients better than we ever have, and that means our operations are running super smoothly. And so I think I'm just super curious, to build the agency up there. And again, it's a puzzle. Agency scale, agency growth is totally different than a SaaS company. And I've got some, SaaS plays. We've got Flowproof right here. That's a totally different animal than building an agency. And I kind of get the best of all the worlds here. So I don't really have plans to like move on or anything. It's more of like, okay, well, where are we going next with modular? Because it's kind of, the possibilities are endless.
Love it, dude. Where can people find out more about you?
You can hit me up on LinkedIn, linkedin.com/in/John Uland, JOND. You can also visit us at modularmarketing.com, and Flowproof, FLOWPROOF.AI, flowproof.ai. If you think any of those might be a good fit for you.
That was John Uland.